तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोत् भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततन्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 18. गतिर्भर्ता प्रभुः साक्षी निवासः शरणं सुहृत् प्रभवः प्रलयस्थानं निधानं बीजमव्ययम् तपाम्यहमहं वर्षं निगृह्णात्म्युत्सृजामि च अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च सदसच्चाहमर्जुन। So Bhagavan is describing the various vibhutis, glories. Because mam vishvato mukham ekatvena pruthatvena upasate. These bhaktas, these jignasus, chaturvida bhajante mam. Out of that, these jignasu bhaktas, they are seeking Ishvara in form of knowledge. And so they basically are appreciating Ishvara as the one who is in form of everything. But everything means what? So some description is there. And we saw that gatihi, the result of action, could be any loka, etc. Well, will be, definitely it is within this Vishwarupa. Everything has an area, place. Or could be karma phala in any other, in form of various situations one gains. It's also karma phala. And that is, myself, Bharta, one who sustains, Prabhu, one who is a source of all resources. Sakshi, I am the one who appears to be a creator, sustainer, everything, but actually I am a Sakshi, I don't do anything. Sakshat ikshate, I am in the form of consciousness, basically, nothing, I don't do anything. Nivasaha, I am the residence for the entire universe. Nivasaha. Sharanam, I am refuge, real refuge, where one can relax, where person will never be again pushed into samsara. I am that kind of a refuge. And Suhrit, I help always. Anyone can knock the door and I am ready to help. Right? So, Prabhavaha Pralayah Sthanam, that also we saw. Well, Nidhanam also we saw. Well, he is the very basis of all cause. This all, Ishvara is a cause from the standpoint of creation. Otherwise, he is not a cause and not an effect. Clay is not a cause or effect. If you say pot, then we have to talk about it. Otherwise, where is cause and where is effect? Clay is clay. That's how it is. With reference to creation, because sometimes we say he is not a cause, sometimes we say he is a cause, all that. So, which lends existence to entire universe. That, of course, cause lends existence to the entire universe. Then means the universe you are accepting. So, there is universe, names, forms. Okay, then he is a cause. Okay, etc. But from his own standpoint, he is not a cause, not an effect. So, all this, he is the very basis on which, in which all this cause effect have a place. All cause effect are superimposed upon Brahman. Then Avyaya Bijam again. See, Bijam means cause. So all names and forms, because Nidhanam indicates that does the Brahman undergo modification, because you said Prabhavaha Pralayah Sthanam means is cause of the entire creation, etc., from whom the whole creation has come and sustained, and in whom everything ultimately gets resolved. So, is a cause, then definitely a question can be raised that as the cause of creation, he undergoes any modification or not. The modification, etc., is also we should understand. Sometimes we say this clay is a parinami upadana karanam for the pots, etc. And this is how it has been accepted, in fact. But clay is also vivarta karana. From which standpoint you take? That's from the standpoint of a form, definitely. Clay was in one form, now it's in another form. So parinama. But from the standpoint of clay, really speaking, definitely it's a vivarta. There is no change at all. So even in the form of pot also it is same clay. So anyway, that's a Bhashyakara, I think, perhaps loves the example of Rajju Sarpa. That is the reason. So there is always an issue with this, whether a clay, etc., or our gold and ornaments should we consider as a parinami or vivarta, etc. Anyway, so Avyaya Bijam, because names and forms that constitute the effect, definitely they are subject to change. They are subject to disappearance. So subject to disappearance means Vyaya. This is Avyaya, the cause, which is basically Avyaya, not subject to disappearance. The Ishvara is along with his, along with this unmanifest, which is which we call as an undifferentiated cause for the manifest world. So Avyaya Bijam, imperishable cause, which does not disappear, which does not undergo any change. Then further is Tapamyaham Varsham, etc. It's same thing. This Vishwatomukham has been further said. Aham Tapami, I heat up, I energize, I light up the world. Being the sun, I light up the world, and I also heat up the world. And because of heat, water evaporates, and rain begins. It's a cycle. So when earth gets heated up, even water evaporates, vaporizes. It's all law. It's law. Infallible law. Yeah, it's infallible law. That's our order. That's where you can trust. You can only trust what is infallible. Yeah. The whole life, person is in search of a one being who is trustworthy, really. From the childhood where the trust was violated, you thought my parents, a human child which is totally helpless, puts total trust. More the helpless, if the helplessness is total, the trust on others is total. Yeah. Therefore, if you are less if you feel less helplessness, you need not trust others because you are capable of. But if you are totally helpless, you put a trust on someone, total. That gets violated. Because parents, I thought they are Ishvara. They are not. I got a shock. And from there onwards, ultimately, of course, Ishvara's grace is that, basically, from my conscious mind, that shock has gone into unconscious to save me as a child. And then from that day onwards, I am looking for Ishvara, really speaking, who will be totally trustworthy, who will never fail. That is this order. Order is something which is infallible. The infallible is Ishvara. That's how Pujya Swami used to say, infallible is Ishvara. Rather, Ishvara is infallible, that's not proper, but Ishvara, infallible is Ishvara. So anyway, so this is all order. So earth gets heated, water gets heated, and that's a law. There is a sun with functions, all this. Anyway, so aham varsham utsujami. So, I, the one who has heated up this earth, etc., now utsujami, release. Varsham, varsha, rain. Means I am the very law governing the rain. And then nigrunnami, then I hold it back. This you can see in India, right? Here, here it is not. For 8 months, I withhold the rain. And then in 4 months, of the monsoon, I pour down in the form of rain. Because I am the seasons, basically. I am the season. And seasons, all one can definitely, they are all predictable. Now, people start buying clothes before winter comes. Because they are sure winter is going to come. Then, winter will be over, and then March, mid, etc. later. Spring is coming, spring is coming. Then summer is coming, then fall is coming. Everyone predicts. Means it is going to happen. That's order, that's a law. So in the network of these natural laws, seasons are also one of the things we are able to predict. So Bhagavan is saying, aham tapami and varsham utsrujami nigrunnami. I withhold, basically. Hold it back. This rain, etc. Amrutam chaiva. Amrutam, I am that punyam, because of which the gods, etc., become gods, who gain certain ananda. Getting that yoni itself, they get certain ananda, and also immortality, a long life. 1 day of a devatas is a 1 year of 1 human year. Our 1 human year is their 1 day. Oh my God, they live so long. So, Amrutam Chaiva, I am in the form of that punyam, because of which the gods becomes gods and they get the immortality. Mrityum Cha, I am punyapata, because of which all the mortals come into being and then they die. I am Lord Death, we can say that way. Very principle of law of death, I am that. Or I am in the form of death. That's how the dead physical body people do pradakshina and do namaskara, etc. Because that is Ishvara. So I am basically in the form of punyapapa, because of which mortals come into being and die. That's one. You can take that way. Or I am in the form of Lord of Death, a law, because of which everything is subject to death. Or I am the very death. Either. So death is me. Mrityu and Amrutam, life. Both is me. Death is me and life is me. So in other words, sadasaccha aham means something that has a form, life, that has a form, and which you are able to, of course, recognize, and for which you have a name also, is me, like pot, some form, name, pot, pot, like that. So it's called sat. Which has a form, which has a life, let us say. And asat. So asat here does not mean a non-existent. Asat means, which existed before this manifestation. It was in the form of unmanifest. So, unmanifest names and forms, I am in the form of unmanifest names and forms, asat. I am in the manifest names and form called sat, both, cause and effect. So, manifest form is sat, unmanifest form is asat. Means the effect is referred here as a sat, because Bhagavan said sad, asat, cha aham. So, I am very effect, which is called sat here, and I am the very cause, which is referred as a asat. Means I am the very cause and effect both. And this cause effect vada, karana karya vada, well, which is pointed out, well, so it indicates that, karanam satyam karyam mithya. So, well, I am in the form of cause and effect. So, mithya effect also is me, and the very cause which is satyam also is me, which is non-separate from me. That is Brahman. The whole Karana Karya Vada is from a standpoint of this creation. Creation is mithya. That's how we call this Adhyaropa Apavada. It's a bread and butter. So when you say there is a creation, etc., of course mithya, but there you superimpose the creation on the cause. It's all Adhyaropa, and then later you do Apavada of that, etc. So basically, I am the very cause and effect, in the form of cause and effect. Well, that is Adhyaropa. And what is Apavada? I am free from cause and effect. That's Apavada. Yeah. So first you say there is a pot. This is Adhyaropa Prakriya in 4 steps. Adhyaropa. There is a pot which is a product. Okay. So you are accepting there is a product, karyam. Well, there is a cause of it. Clay is a cause of that. So both are Adhyaropa. Actually there is a clay only. So you superimpose a pot over it. So you have a superimposed effect upon the clay. And you have also superimposed the cause also on the clay. So it's Adhyaropa. There is a product called pot, and there is a cause for the product called pot, clay. Then you do Apavada. If there is really no pot, the touch of pot is touch of clay, the smell of pot is smell of clay, the weight of pot is weight of clay. All this you do, you find there is no pot. Pot is mithya. Right? So Apavada. If pot is mithya, then effect is mithya, then the very causal status of the clay also is mithya. That's Apavada. Clay says, I am not a cause nor a effect. So you superimpose upon me this cause and effect. So Bhagavan says, Sadasat. I am in the form of this cause and effect, everything. But really speaking, from my own standpoint, I am free from cause and effect, both. So, so basically, this is what Sadasat Chaham Arjuna. Now Bhagavan talks about, we have talked enough about cause effect. So Bhagavan now talks about those who are ignorant of this Atma Swarupa, but still they are mature. They have a certain Shraddha in the Vedas, rituals, prayers, etc. and even Shraddha in the afterlife. So they are not as mature as our people who have a Purushartha Viveka. They definitely are much mature. And but these people also are mature, because at least they have a Shraddha in the Veda, etc. Whatever the subject matter of the Veda is that Veda talks about, they have a Shraddha. So that maturity they have. Such people, about that Bhagavan talks about. And these people do not have a Purushartha Viveka, of course. And therefore they are definitely, they engage themselves in varieties of the karmas which give rise to varieties of the results, etc. They are interested in that result, like Swarga, etc. Bhagavan talks about it in 28th verse. Traividya mam somapah putapapah yagneirištva svargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. So Traividyaha, The word has come from Trividya, who are connected to Trividya. Every Veda is a Vidya. So, all this Trividya means the people who have studied these three Vedas, Rik, Sama, Yajus. So, this Trividya, whoever have studied this Trividya, three Vedas, they are called Traividya. So, Traividya, these people, they have learnt how to chant them. Perhaps they may be knowing, they may be knowing this know-how of the rituals also, to perform rituals, etc. They may be knowing. So, Traividyaha, Somapaha, Vedikas, and then Somapaha. This is a good example for a translation which is misleading. The literal translation they have given is this, Somapaha. Conversion with the lore of three Vedic texts, Ruk, Yajus, Sama. They drink the same Soma juice and are cleansed of their sins by that very drink. Means if you drink the juice of a creeper, that's a creeper, Soma. If you crush it and get a juice, if you drink it, you will be free from all papas. That is not correct. If you are drinking juice, you cannot become free. That would be, we have to find some other juice. If Soma is not there, we should, some other creeper or some other juice, we should try to find out. Well, by drinking, we will become free from all the papas. No. So it should be interpreted, it's a technical expression, should be interpreted properly. Somapaha means definitely who drinks Soma. Somam, somarasam pibanti iti somapaha. That is there. But there is a ritual called Somayaga. And that is done for gaining, of course, Punyaloka, Swargaloka, etc. And in that ritual, the juice, of course, of that creeper called Soma is offered to the Lord. And the worshippers then partake, whatever is left as a prasada, they take. So, who perform and participate in the Soma ritual, therefore they are called Somapaha. So, and definitely, so technically word Somapaha stands for the one who has done the Somayaga and then they partake with that juice which is left over after offering as a prasada. That is how it should be understood. So definitely they become free from papas, etc., wrong actions, etc., because of the yaga they perform, not that by drinking, etc. So puta papaha, Traividyaha, Somapaha, puta papaha, relatively free from wrong actions. They purified themselves from wrong actions of the past. And this purification here is not in terms of definitely freeing oneself from likes and dislikes. Those are also impurities. No. Because here they are doing a kami karma. They want swargatim prarthayante. They want basically a swargaloka. They want to enjoy. Therefore, they are not free from raga, dvesha, etc. Definitely they want that loka. So here, definitely in everyone's life, and even in past lives, there are things which we have done wrongly. Even inadvertently we have. Even in the karmas, so-called, religious actions, which are punya karma, our puja, etc., yajna, etc., we definitely do commit a certain mistakes. That's how prayaschitas are always there at the end. And therefore, so these people definitely become relatively free from the wrongdoings of the past because of they have Shraddha, and they definitely, because of the Shraddha in the Shastra, they avoid Nishiddha karma. That's for sure. Certain actions which are not to be done, they don't do. But they do definitely Kamya karmas. They are doing this Somayaga with a certain desire of gaining Swargaloka, etc. And there is nothing wrong in that, because these karmas are Vedikas and they are in keeping with Dharma. So definitely they are not transgressing dharma in order to fulfill their desire for enjoyments of other lokas. So they also perform, and being a Vedika, they have a Shraddha in the Nitya Nimittik karmas also. Along with the Kami karmas, they may be doing Nitya Nimittik karmas, which cleans them of the effect of any wrongdoing of the past. Nitya Nimittik karmas can definitely work as a counter for those wrongdoings. So that's how they are called Puta Papaha. They have purified themselves from the wrong actions because of a performance of Nitya Nimittik karmas, etc. So, Puta Papaha. So, even though they are doing this Kama karma, well, as long as they follow Dharma, it is a hope on the part of a Shruti, mother, that, well, my son will definitely, or daughter, will definitely get a Viveka one day, right? Because if you don't cross the limits of Dharma, whatever is prescribed in the Shastra is within the limits of Dharma, well, definitely. And so they will definitely gain a Viveka. Someday there is a chance that they may get Viveka, Purushartha Viveka. Now, of course, they are lacking the Viveka because they feel that going there is really making my life more comfortable, etc. So they are performing these rituals for better lokas. So they are not karma yogis, that's for sure. They are doing kama karmas. Very prayerful, faithful, but at the same time they are only interested in obtaining desire ends like heaven, etc. They lack Purushartha Viveka. Means they have not asked this question, basic question. Am I a seeker or not? And why am I seeking? If you ask this, you will land up in Viveka. Am I a seeker? Because basically any seeking is not for the sake of seeking, keep seeking. Any seeking is ultimately for the sake of ending the seeking, ending the very seeker. And that seeking will end only when you find yourself satisfied. Otherwise that will not stop. And you find yourself satisfied if you have this, if you know that you are Purnam, you are the whole. Otherwise this thing is not going to occur. Anyway, so that's how people who seek name, fame and wealth and all, it is not for the Satchidananda Atma, it's for the ego, ultimately, ego gratification. So basically one who knows that, well, this, name, fame, etc., or all, whatever, wealth or anything, power, is ultimately for the ego and it will always keep me a seeker. Yeah, always keep you seeker. If you seek all those things, you remain seeker. At the same time, you want to end the very seeking. Behind every seeking, your desire is to end the very seeker. It's amazing. This is how the Maya works. I feel that if I seek this thing and I achieve this thing, my seeking will end. It never ends. Never ends. Anyway, so but the Purushartha Viveka is not there. That's how they are doing this performance of karma, etc. So, Mam Yagnehi Ishtva Swargatim Prarthayante. They pray to me, Mam Prarthayante. They pray to me, Parmeshwara, well, through the form of Indra. In the rituals they invoke that Indra, Varuna, Agni, etc. All other devatas. Devatas are just in one aspect of Ishvara. Ishvara is total. You look upon one from one aspect, it becomes devata. Devatas are Ishvara only. So having worshipped or invoked me through various rituals, well, they pray to me. And what is their request? Swargatim, swar, buhu, buvaha, swaha. Swaha, or that is a swar. Visarga here means it's a refanta word, I think, swar. And it means heaven. Swargaha also is there, but here swar, and then gatim. Means they want heaven as a result of that. So they have heard about the heaven, etc. That very lots of pleasant experience, etc. will be there. And they can remain there enjoying all these things for a long time. Relative immortality. And they get a promotional material for going to heaven. Well, from Puranas also, description is there. Some description in Kathopanishad also a little bit. What are the enjoyments in Swarga, etc. Well, so they pray me, Bhagavan says, in order to go to heaven. Swargatim prarthayante. And what? Then what they acquire? They punyam surendra lokam asadya. Asadya. They acquire. Acquire what? Surendra lokam. They acquire the world of, well, celestials. Suranam Indra, actually, basically it's a world of Indra, they call it. It's world of celestials. So they acquire, these people, well, they acquire, they gain Surendra Loka because they have performed that Soma Yaga, etc. And it's called Punyam, Punyam Surendra Lokam. So Visheshana. So they definitely, this world of celestial is a Punya Loka because going there is a result of a good karma, performance of ritual. So heaven is a Punya Loka because it's a result of a Punya Phalam. And Punyam actually is a useless. You have to encash it. Like the cash you have is useless. That's how governments are buying now gold. Lots of government, because the value of their own currency, so it is going down. So I heard, I may be wrong also, that nowadays many, including our Indian government, they are buying a lot of gold now. Same way, Punyam also is useless. Sometimes even demonetization also can happen. We don't know. So, Punyam is useless. It has to be converted. Yeah, that is the conversion. Surendra Lokam. So, definitely they gain this. Well, it can be converted. You cannot convert. Here, this is there. This currency, Punyam, etc., to encash, it's only Ishvara can do all this job. You get a Mercedes car. Well, that's your Punyam. You get a very good residence, right? On the very bank of some beautiful lake and then forest and all. It's all Punyam, etc., etc. You get a good body, good parentage, this, that. So this is all Punya Phala. So the result of Punyam which they gain by various rituals they perform is going to be the heaven, Surendra Lokam. And once they reach there, what they do? Ashnanti. They enjoy, but they enjoy with eyes and ears. As I told you, the heaven will, by seeing itself, it satisfies you. If you have a hunger, definitely you need not eat at all. You just look at the heavenly samosas which are there in that big plate, etc. The very sight of the edible is enough. And then there are subtle pleasures of music, our damsels in our Rambha and Urvashi and all that. So they enjoy. So the sense organs, means predominantly with the sense organs they enjoy various objects in heaven. And definitely they are all, we have to say heavenly. Our enjoyments are local enjoyments, naturally. So Divyan Divi Deva Bhogan Ashnanti. That's how the heavenly objects of enjoyments which are there, Divi, in the heaven, they enjoy it, etc. So, then there is a catch, which Bhagavan tells in the next verse. Te tam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha gata gatam kama kama labhante. So some people who are very desirous of various objects, well, they get various objects, but they also get samsara. Yeah, that's a catch here. So that is what Bhagavan says here. So, Svargalokam Vishalam, vast Svargalokam, vast heaven. This vastness is in terms of plenty objects. Vastness is in terms of variety. Vastness is in terms of time, naturally, because it's relatively immortal. So, that is called Vishalam here. So, Bhuktva, having enjoyed this Svargaloka because of their Punya Karma, Somayaga, etc., or other Agnishtoma, etc., whatever. Kshine Punye, so they have enjoyed. But then what happens? When all the Punya is exhausted, well, Martyalokam Vishanti, they are simply dropped down and enter the world of mortals, basically. It says there is no old age there in a Svargaloka. So person has the body and he is enjoying, he is eating in some dining hall there, heavenly dining hall, and suddenly his body melts away. That's This is what my understanding. Body melts away. And then he finds himself waking up in this world again, which he wants to escape, right? Because this is a world of constantly changing. Constantly change. No one likes a change. No one likes a change. That's how one arranges a situation around, thinking that this is an ideal situation for me, where everyone is happy. They are comfortable with me, I am comfortable with them. Within few hours you find that things have changed. People keep trying and to keep others in humor. We keep trying, because people are not always the same. Your body is never the same, which you don't like. One day you get up in the morning and see in the mirror and you find a white hair. Or you comb your hair and you get a lot of what you want to retain is going away. It's all change. It's change. No one likes. One is in search of something which is changeless. And that search is genuine search. It's a genuine search. It's a natural desire because you are changeless. Not understanding that you keep searching changeless elsewhere. So they thought these were, we are immortals. This is what it is. When we see death of someone, then for a moment we feel that I am also going to die, momentarily. But afterwards you feel that you talk about death of others, etc., as if you are immortal. Yeah. So this is what it is. They also thought that we are in the Swarga, we are immortals, and suddenly they become mortals. They find themselves in another world. Kshine punya martya lokam vishanti, where everything is different. The body, birth, childhood, its problems, death looms large, etc., full of bugs, people around irritate you, all these things starts. So they enter again the very same place from where they escaped. They wanted to escape, that's how they did this, yaga, etc. So they can go there. They return to square one. If you realize this few sentences which I told, definitely you will choose only, you will have a vairagya for this because born of a viveka, that ultimately any karma leads to karma phala, which is kshinam, which is definitely imperishable. What you are searching through karma phala is something which is nitya vastu. Anyway, so such statements definitely are meant to make you turn towards yourself ultimately. Shastra always tries to drive a person to a corner from where you cannot but see moksha. Really. The description sometimes it is sometimes bitter words also are there, but they ultimately are for that purpose, that the purushartha viveka arise in the person. Anyway, so the cause for these people going to heaven is punyam. So they will stay there, and as long as punyam will be there, they can remain there. And physical body, they enjoy in heaven. They have a body there, of course, but it's a different type of body, they say, compared to this loka. Like when we enter into the dream world, it's a different body. In order to enjoy the dream world, this body is not capable of enjoying dream world. You need another body, which is conducive for experiencing dream world. To experience this world, dream body will not be of useful. You need this type of body, right? Like that. So that physical body which they gain there also is because of punya karma. And for every experience, of course, they have there, you encash your punyam. And so when the last of punyam is exhausted, but anyway, I think Brahma Sutra, Vyasacharya discuss, not the punya totally get exhausted. It is always, they give example of a ajyapatram. So in which, there is a ghee, and you are, pouring it into another vessel. Most of the ghee will come out, but something will always stick that. So tatasheshena, etc. Definitely. So this punyam will be always there, not totally exhausted. Kshine punye, but not totally. Some punyam, because once you come here, you need punyam. To get a human body, again Punya Papa Mishran. And to be born as a dog in a family, American family, and or you get adopted, or even a cat, my God, you are a member of that family. More than a member gets an attention, these pets get attention more. And pets are really patted. So it's wonderful. So you need punyam even to gain a janma here. So they enter, of course, with the punyam, little bit punyam, whatever the punyam is left. So anyway, so that is very clear that this Amrita Loka is really not Amritam, immortal. It's a mistake actually to take it as eternal. Heaven, because heaven is presented as in the Shastra as Amritam. Devatas are called Amaraha, etc. So which literally means, which is not, Amaraha means which is not subject to death, which are timeless. But that is not. And therefore, definitely it's a relative immortality. The real immortality will be a Atma, which is timeless. That's the definition of the immortality or eternity or eternal. Eternal means which is timeless. That's it. Rest everything is relatively immortal. And that includes Svarga also. And most of the theologies have adopted this Vedic concept of this eternal heaven from us. Anyway, so they, when the punyam, etc., because of them, they have gone to heaven, etc., and experience heavenly objects day after day, is exhausted. When it is exhausted, they come back. They cannot extend their stay. Okay. Then evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha. Evam means in this manner. Means what? That which was told in the previous verse. Somapaha, etc., etc. They perform this yaga, etc. Who have studied the Veda, they know about it, etc. So, in this manner means that was told in the previous verse. Trayi dharmam anuprapannaha. This threefold Veda is called Trayi. Some Atharva Vedas, I think the rituals of Atharva Vedas are they are generally not to be performed. Shatru Maranam, etc. They say it is in Shatru Maranam. You have an enemy and you want to kill, then you perform some yaga. Then this kind of should not be included, naturally. So definitely, generally they talk about the karmas which belong to these three Vedas. Including, I think, even the Gayatri for the three Vedas also is same, this Ruksama Yaju. For Atharva Veda, I don't have an idea, but Shrauta Gayatri is same in these three Vedas. So, Trayi, group of three means these three Vedas. So, anyway, so evam Trayi dharmam. Dharma means refer karma, naturally, because some things enjoined by the three Vedas, these karmas, they are called dharma. Why dharma? Because dharma dhanapetam, as such it should be dharmyam, but these karmas are basically performed in keeping with the dharma, enjoined by the Veda only, and therefore they are called dharmam. Evam trayi dharmam means they are called, the dharmam, these karmas which are enjoined by three Vedas. Anuprapannaha means one who follows various karmas laid out in these three Vedas. Now actually speaking, trayi dharmam also includes, because Veda does not just talk about karma, Veda also talks about Brahma, talks about Jnanam, etc. So by karma we can take both the kind of karmas, Manasa karma, Upasana, and the Kaika Vachik rituals, all, etc. we can include. But other than that, the subject matter of the Veda is also Brahman. But so he is talking about, I mean, in Veda both the things are dealt with, which includes both, I mean, karma and jnanam. But he is talking only about those who follow the karmas. Bhagavan is talking about to follow karma enjoined by the Vedas and not jnanam. Therefore, because we are talking about the people who have performed that yaga, etc. So, and therefore there is no question of a jnanam. They are performing yaga to enjoy. So they have a goal called dharma in their life, not moksha, etc. So it should not be included. Okay. And then what it says, kama kamaha. These people are kama kamaha. Kama kamaha means what? So kaman kamayanti iti kama kamaha. So kama kamaha means those who desire desirable objects. The very thought process by which a desire arises is called kama. And also a desirable object also is called kama. So here it's a desirable object. So definitely you cannot desire to desire. Oh, I am a desirer. Desirer of what? To desire. What is this? So definitely you desire something which is desirable. So Veda talks about so much. Veda talks about a luster. Veda talks about how to get a good child. Really. These Americans, our American Indians, they always want that a child should have a samskaras and these and that and they lead a good life. And there are yajnas. I think in Brihadaranyaka itself, in the end portion, I think there is a discussion. And maybe so much. So many things are there, but you may not desire. Like in a shop, Costco, everything, so many things are available, but you may not desire. Like I may not desire, or more than me, even the person who is totally bald-headed, he will not desire a shampoo or a comb, etc. Definitely. So therefore, so you have a desire for desirable things. You may not desire everything. So they are called kama kamaha. Kaman kamayanti iti kama kamaha. So definitely these people want swarga. There are some yajnas which give, Shri Sukta Homa, etc. for money, etc. Many things are there. Very, if you go through, if you really know, then definitely you will be tempted to. I am telling you. So many good things are there in Karma Kanda. Well, they say this is a means for that end, this is a means for that end. That is what the Veda is, to give you the knowledge of means and ends, especially the earlier portion. Of course, later portion of means is a jnanam for gaining moksha, as I said. So kama kamaha, well, these people, naturally they have a shraddha in performance of various karmas mentioned in 3 Vedas, but only they have a limited end because they kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. And Shankaracharya ji indicates that, well, sannyasa is not being talked about here. Sannyasa is talked in Veda, but that dharma is not included here. Well, because Bhagavan said here, kama kamaha. So, well, definitely these people are not interested in moksha, etc. So, sannyasa, etc. means moksha. So, trai dharmam anuprapannaha, well, they could not include mumukshus here. Gata gatam labante, well, gata gatam labante. They gain what? Gatam. They go. And agatam, return. So, that's the gain. They go and return, up, down. So it is because, well, they went that wherever you go, ultimately you come back. If I go to New Jersey, I will return back. So this is how it is. So wherever you go, you will return. But that viveka is not there. So this particular life of, which is characterized by going and coming back, is called gata gatam. So gatam cha agatam cha gata gatam. It means samsara. So, but what can they do? If you have so many desires of, various objects, your happiness definitely is dependent upon that. That itself is a samsara. Any dependency is samsara. Any dependency, anywhere. But Swamiji, samsara means a sorrow. Well, it will automatically bring. If you are dependent, you will, one or other day, you will have a sorrow. Either on a being or a thing, you will have. And especially what we are talking about is emotional dependence. Yeah. Physical dependence will be there. It's a part of the world. Body is made up of 5 elements and it is sustained by 5 elements. That will be there. Emotional dependence. Yeah. That's only called attachment. That emotional dependence is only called attachment. But Swamiji, why should I be dependent on, what is this emotional dependence? Well, you depend on someone, something for happiness, for security, for peace, etc. That's the thing. Why should not be I dependent? To be dependent for all these 3 reveals ignorance. Yeah. Why? How can you call it is ignorance? Because there is no object which is called happiness. Yeah. There is no attribute of the object which is called happiness. There is no object which is called peace. I have seen several millions of things in Costco, but I have never found any object called peace. Peace is not an object, very simple thing. Happiness is not an object. Security is not an object. Then where is it? Two things are there, subject and object. If our object is not happiness, it must be centered on subject. If I am happiness, why should I seek happiness outside? But that's what the problem of ignorance is. And therefore, emotional dependence means dependence for all these three definitely leads to sorrow. Because you will fail ultimately. You won't get it. That is what it's. Anyway, gata gatam labhante. And Shankaracharya says, well, natu swatantram kvachit labhante. They do not gain any kind of, any sort of independence of freedom. If you want, if freedom is your goal in your life, you should be relatively free. That relative freedom is called this emotional maturity, where you don't have a dependence. You are basically dependent on your likes and dislikes. You are under the sway of your own likes and dislikes, right? So if you become relatively free from your likes and dislikes, you become adhikari for absolute freedom, where it is told by the Shastra that you are free. If I am totally dependent on various things, and the Shastra comes, you are of the nature of moksha, you are free, I am not able to appreciate. One who wants to gain absolute freedom, centered on I, should be relatively free. That's preparedness. That is preparedness. That is called emotional maturity. Anyway, that's why the karma yoga, etc. is meant for this kind of a thing. Anyway. So, Bhashyakara says, Natu swatantram kvachid labhante. These people, definitely, those who are gatagatam labhante. So, they always have a up-down, going to various places. And naturally, in order to enjoy, well, the result of those good actions, they need to have a new janma. And then they return again, then they do again karma, will give to another janma. Janma leads to karma, karma leads to janma. That is called samsara. Samyak sarati. Iti samsara. They slide beautifully from janma, karma, then death, again new janma, karma, death, etc. Anyway, gata gatam labhante. Anyway, up to this we'll see later. Next verse, 22nd, we'll see next time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.